Hello everybody, it's TMOG 217. Welcome to a LEGO Ninjago 2022 set review. Today we'll look at set number 71774, Lloyds Golden Ultra Dragon. This set that was released on August 1st of 2022 contains 9 minifigures and 989 pieces, and it's based off of the Ninjago season of Crystallized. So here we have the main build, and oh my goodness, guys, I'm not lying. This is the best looking dragon I have ever built or owned in my collection to date. Wow. It looks all around pleasing to look at. Like, you would think that it would be too much pearl gold for a pearl gold dragon to have, but no. You can never have enough pearl gold on this dragon. This is quite a big boy, if I'm being honest. Like, if I'm throwing a minifigure here for scaling, this is pretty big. It's about the same length as Nia's water dragon, I would say, which is fine. I have no issue with that, but it's a big, hefty boy. Yeah, it does have some white detailing all around it to kind of, give it a Woo's dragon look to it, I guess. I don't know, just they're the students of Woo, or at least that was my main theory. Why do I say that's my main theory? Well, if you look at the heads, specifically Kai's, he's got a little bit of a scar. Now, why do I think that these are the ninja in dragon form, like Nia did in Seabound? Well, you look at the Kai minifigure, and he's got a scar as well. So it's kind of weird that this Kai dragon has a scar. Now, I know in the show, basically, the golden dragon is shown in the last episode and is the embodiment of the golden weapons combined together into their final form or whatever. But just a little fan theory mind that this is supposed to be the ninja joined together with the golden weapons to become the golden dragon. Just a little fan theory mind that I thought I'd point out. But anyway, we got some nice, interesting molds here and build techniques. I guess for the toes, I should get that point out. It is on a ball joint. There is no real articulation needed for this dragon because, again, it's a pretty big dragon, and again, which is why it's so limited for the posability. You can push the arm that far up, give or take, and about that far back. There is no elbow joint. It's just kind of fixed in place. That's fine. This is a big dragon. It needs some stability, so I'll give it that. Normally I would care about stability in a dragon, but this one's pretty big where I'll give it a pass. So I don't know why it has the ability to move up and down because, it can't really do much. As for the hind legs, again, so much gold in here. I even like how they integrated the Evo Mech shoulder armor pad pieces, which is pretty cool. Again, feet are on a ball joint for whatever reason. And, I kind of forgot to point out, the feet are using a weird build technique. The first two toes are put at a side, and the last toe is different. Like, I don't know. I don't have the words for it right now, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Anyway, posability for the hind leg. You can kick it back, I guess, at the full 360 degrees. You can flip it out that far for whatever reason, I guess. I guess with the hips as well, since it's kind of already being shown, you can move it from side to side. Kind of similar thing that they used with the Lloyds Jungle Dragon, just minus the whole loosey-goosey part of it, which is good. Moving on to the tail of the build, it's using more ratchet joints. Normally I would care about the ratchet joints, but again, stability, big dragon, enough said. You can turn that around. There's even a Lego train piece at the back here, and I don't know why that's there other than to possibly, stop it from going down too far. And I guess that brings up my next point, which is a little bit of an issue, is at least with this section of the tail, if you tilt it too far, it pushes on that and that piece falls off. It's a little bit annoying, but again, it's not anything crucial, so it is what it is. Next ball joint, same thing. You can tilt it all around and whatnot. This is actually especially helpful if you're trying to fit it on a small shelf, because again, this is a big set, and you can just position the tail in a way where you can just flip it up, boom. Even more storage, so that way you're cutting on the length of the build a bit then. As well as the bottom of the tail uses a big noodle piece, you can just turn that around, twirl it a little bit. Don't like how this piece is a little bit exposed. I feel like just something should have covered that up a little bit, because it kind of breaks the illusion of it being a almost pure gold dragon. At the top here, you have a seat to fit one minifigure. Now, you could do any minifigure you want, but you could just put Lloyd here standing up or sitting down. It's really up to you. And gold on gold, it's a little hard to just see that Lloyd is on the dragon at first, but if you're displaying him on there, it's pretty cool. Okay. Jumping back to the heads a little bit, I do like how they went about this with the whole molding and prints and whatnot, which are exclusive just to this set. So for Kai, again, he's got an exclusive golden head, which is the exact same as Nia's, and I like that because, you know, Kai and Nia are brother and sister. Kind of makes sense that they would have the same dragon head mold if they turned into dragons, that is. Again, fan theory. But yeah, you can open up the jaw a little bit, as they are on individual ball joints, and I can remove the heads in a minute here to show you how that was accomplished, but that's pretty cool. Only issue I have with the dragon heads overall is the black of the heads kind of use this new double clip piece, and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb with it being a dark bluish gray. Now, again, it's the only piece that's currently out as of time of recording, but still would have been nice if it was a different color. And one thing I noticed that maybe with the different heads, but this head is pretty secure, is the technique that's used to hold it in place. If you move the head around a bit, it'll get loose and eventually the head will pop off. But for Kai's head, it's not much of an issue, but for the others it will be. The neck detailing does have the element of fire hinted on it to show that, hey, this is the fire element, or this sort of fire dragon, whatever you want to identify these dragon heads as. For Jay's head, you have the same chin as Kai's, but you use the Evo head. Now, I do believe this is a reuse of the one that was included in his bike that was also released in this wave, as the only difference with this is this got some printing on it, which is a really nice detail. And again, it's just using the Evo head, and of course on the neck you got some translucent yellow pieces to show that, hey, it's a lightning dragon. And again, you tilt this around and eventually this will pop off. So I don't think it works great with Evo heads just because it's not much of a secure connection point, but it is what it is, I guess. But it should be easy to put back on there as shown like so. And for the next head, I guess we're taking a quick look at is Cole's head. It's quite an interesting build. Definitely feels like an Earth Dragon kind of vibe, especially the neck being light bluish gray and black. Kind of wish it would have been a mixture of throwing some orange in there too, which has been used in some dragon builds, I guess, for Cole. But anyway, uses both the head and the jaw piece being the same mold, which the jaw can't really close all the way, but that's fine. It's supposed to be a different dragon. And again, it gives off that great vibe of it's a Earth Dragon. Again, exclusive printing on the head. Pretty cool stuff. And then for the final head, we have Zane's head, which uses Cole's dragon mouthpiece and the Evo head. Again, exclusive piece. Again, also used in his vehicle that was released this wave. Just, you know, with some printing overall on it. And again, same issue with the head being a little loose when you move it around. But that's fine. Ice detailing on the neck, and that's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, moving on to the wings of the build. Oh my goodness. This is probably the eyesore of the build, in my opinion, because, well, you know, at first it looks great and all. When you try and use the play feature, it's just, yeah, it's a pain, because the idea is you're supposed to turn this little spinner crown knob, and that's supposed to make the wings flap. Now, I will give LEGO credit. At least the wings work better than Nia's water dragon. So it's got that going for it. But when I first assembled this, it didn't function properly at first. And the only real explanation I guess I have for that is the pieces weren't pressed down all the way. So if you ever have any issues with making the wing function not work, just take apart the build and make sure everything's compressed tightly, because friction is a big thing with this. But I feel like this dragon probably could have used fabric wings, especially given the fact that in the show, this is how the dragon's wings looked. I think fabric wings of that would have gone perfectly with this rather than just the new evil blade pieces. Or, not evil blade pieces, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's just so much room for improvement, I guess, but it is what it is. Anyway, quickly removing the necks so that you guys have an idea what this looks like. Alright, so that's how the dragon looks without the heads. It just basically uses a bunch of ball joint connection pieces to connect the dragon heads, like so, to give you guys a better look and idea. So, yeah, anyway, not much else to say about this beautiful looking dragon. Let's have a look at the minifigures that are included in this copy of the set, because we got quite a bunch to go over. So, yeah. taking a look at the side build really quickly here, we have the Crystal King's Throne. At least that's what I'm calling it. It's basically a little side build. It's mainly using the golden weapons of Spinjitzu. The idea is you're supposed to sit the Crystal King in the throne. I prefer to have him standing. It just kind of gives more of that look of, like, you know, he's using up the whole throne, because he is a pretty tall minifigure. But it's kind of weird that he uses up all the golden weapons, because we never really saw him get his hands on all the golden weapons in the show. So it's kind of weird he's got a throne made up of all of them. But if you're wondering what this looks like without the golden weapons on it, so yeah, after removing all the golden weapons, it's a pretty empty throne. That's still a fun little side build. Anyway, let's have a look at the minifigures in this set. Taking a look at the first two minifigures included in this set, on the left we have Lloyd in his golden Oni form, and on the right we have the Overlord with his 4 arms. Now, technically these figures aren't exclusive to this set as of time's recording, as golden Oni Lloyd's torso, legs, and I guess head, because it's the same, minus the mask, are coming in a foil pack later in 2023, and the Overlord, he's just, in his 4-on form, he comes in the Crystal King Castle, Temple, whatever the name is, and without the 4 arms, it's pretty much the same figure that is included in the foil pack and the Crystal King mech. But anyway, let's get on with my main issues with Golden Oni Lloyd. Now, it's kind of weird how Lego Ninjago the show, they hyped up the whole season for Lloyd unlocking his Oni form, which he did for 30 seconds. But then, the minifigure, which is a highlight of this set in my opinion, is inaccurate to what is shown in the show. So, image for reference on screen here for how he's supposed to look. He's got 4 arms, and his eyes are purple, not green. What's up with that, Lego? And I don't think it has a shoulder pad, unless I'm mistaken, but anyway. It's an inaccurate minifigure what's shown in the show, and it's weird how that is the case. Anyway, it's the same Oni mask as mold as always, just in gold and with that unique printing. Again, if you wanted to have the eyes fixed, it's just easy paint over if you're okay with painting over the figures. But yeah, it uses that new samurai helmet mold in a gold. I think this is the only set so far that has it in gold. So that's pretty cool. Although, again, if you want, you could replace it with a gold helmet to make it a little bit more show accurate, but it's still cool nonetheless. And I guess removing the Overlord and Lloyd's shoulder armor and whatnot, we can have a better look at the printing details. But before we do that really quickly though, I do want to mention that the Overlord uses a nice unique molded helmet mask, I guess, because it can flip up a little bit, which, spoiler alert, reveals that the Crystal King is the Overlord. We'll have a close look at that facial print, though, but I kind of wish that this would have been a molded head rather than a mask, because, again, we don't ever see this facial print in the show. Anyway, let's remove all this armor stuff so we can have a better look. Alright, having all that removed, again, we're able to have a better look at the torso detailing. Overlord has some nice torso printing, not gonna lie, as well as that nice exclusive facial print, which is kind of weird that they included that, because, again, we'd never see his face underneath the mask in the show. Back torso printing for Lloyd looks pretty cool. This outfit did appear for a majority of the second half of the season, so that's pretty cool. But another thing I just want to mention really quickly here about the mask is if you put it on, I think it kind of looks like he looks like a goat. So I think that's due to lack of printing, because again, the teeth are supposed to be white, there's supposed to be more detailing, etc. But I think it's the horns that make it a little bit look like a goat. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts if that looks like a goat to you. Anyway, let's have a look at the other minifigures in this set. For the next 2 minifigures included in this set, well, technically 3, you get the army builders for this wave, which is the Vengestone Warrior and Vengestone Brute. So on the left, it's the Vengestone Brute, and on the right, it's the Warrior. You do get 2 of the Brutes in this set, holding just a different weapon of a spear. So that's why I'm not showing the third one, because it's the same. But anyway, that has a crystallized lightsaber? What? But yeah, no, it just uses that crystallized blade piece in a double-bladed fashion, I guess, but removing that so you guys have a better look at the figures. The Brute, only difference between him and the Warrior is the torso printing on the figure, which is just a little bit more crystallized and has the Crystal King's logo on it, and also the Brute has a second translucent arm on him, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's generically the same besides that, and those are the only two differences. And again, they're just the army builders for this wave of Ninjago, and a pretty cool one at that, given the unique look to them. For the next two minifigures, we have Jay and Cole in their golden armored geese. These figures are not exclusive to this set, but it is nice that we get these two in such an expensive set. Jay comes in the Nia's Samurai X Mech, and Cole comes in Cole's Dragon Cruiser, as well as a foil pack. Now, the set does give you an extra pair of the golden weapons, so for these figures I've given Cole his extra Scythe that Quakes. Unfortunately, we don't get an extra copy of the Nunchucks Lightning, otherwise Jay would have that. But anyway, removing all the weapons and gear and whatnot, here they have a look at the facial features, which is the same as the ones used from the Ninjago movie, as well as the back torso printing, which has their logos on it. So yeah, not much else to say about these two minifigures. Let's have a look at the next two. For the next two minifigures, you have Kai and Zane in their golden armor geese from Crystallized. Again, not exclusive minifigures, but nice inclusions nonetheless. And again, I've included their extra golden weapon pieces that are included in this set. So you have the Sword of Fire and the Shurikens of Ice Crystallized Edition. Yeah, Kai, he comes in Kai's Golden Dragon Raider, and Zane comes in Zane's Golden Dragon Jet. But again, nice inclusions if you remove the weapons and the armor. You're able to have a look at the facial expressions, which aren't exclusive whatsoever, but you can have a look at the back torso print, which has their logo. Anyway, not much else to say about these minifigures. Let's have a look at what else is included in this set. Taking a look at the instructions included in this set, you have the rendering for the front, as well as a QR code if you want to build the set digitally. Anyway, moving on, you got a thing advertising the digital building instructions. But yeah, it's just your typical Ninjago building instructions. Progress bar doesn't even use Golden Oni Lloyd. Why? Maybe because it's too many pages for Lego to print, who knows. But anyway, flipping all the way to the back, you have the thing that shows off the main play feature on the dragon. Same rendition as the thing on the front, just different background. Then you have advertisement for all the other Ninjago Crystallized sets. A waste of space for Rebuild the World. Parts listing for 2 pages. Then a win at the back. In terms of extra parts, this is basically all that I got in my copy of the set. Quite a lot of katanas. Overall, despite the fact of it having some inaccuracies with the minifigures compared to the show and the issues with the wings, I think this is an excellent set. Now, the $200 price tag might be a bit steep, but keep in mind, this is majority pearl gold for a dragon, which is quite impressive, and it's a great display piece, which I think is what it's normally made for. You could play with it, but it's definitely more leaning towards the display piece, in my opinion, and that's entirely fine. Yeah, the minifigure selection you can't really complain with because, you know, if you don't care for the other sets, it's a great way to get all the main ninja. It's a great way to get Oni Lloyd because, again, even though he's coming in a foil pack, it won't be with masks, so at least something still exclusive to the set besides the exclusively printed dragon heads. So I definitely recommend picking this up. Again, if you can get behind the wings and whatnot and not let that bother you, it's a great set. Anyway, those are more or less my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, all that fun stuff. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will see you all in a future video. Until then, I'll see you later.